when I auditioned for The Sopranos, I don't know if John told you this, but the casting agent is Christopher Walken's wife. Georgiana Walken is her name.
Right.
Walken Jaffe Casting is the name of the company. Anyway, they're all sitting there. They're all sitting there. And Gandolfini was there, David Chase, her, some other people just kind of milling around. And I don't know if you know the scene I'm in. The very first scene I'm in, I'm on a phone. I'm going, hello, 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 hello. Those were the lines they gave me. Like literally 15 hellos. That was the words. Hello, hello. And then I look over and I go, it's a menu. This is back when menus were brand new. And so anyway, I stop and they're all looking at me, complete like you're looking at me now. They're all just looking at me. And I go, if I get this, I'm going to need more lines than this. Nobody laughed except for her. Georgiana Walken saved me. She went, she roared. Everybody else is sitting there like this. You know, I go, well, that's that. I'm never going to get this thing. And they called me like a week later and said, you're in. Yeah. And that was that. And so it was supposed to be one day. I don't know if you wanted to just jump ahead of The Sopranos like that, but that's
no,
really
let's stay on it. I mean, you were, according to IMDb, you were there from 99 to 07.
Yes, I was there for the whole time, but not in all seasons.
Right.
I mean, like the first season, not the second, the third, the fourth, not the fifth, the sixth, like that. They would literally just call me and say, you're in the next episode. I had no contract. See, Fiore had a contract and a storyline. I had no storyline. I'm going to be a trivia question 30 years from now. Who was that bartender guy? And what was he? And who was he attached to? The answer is nobody. It's weird. I'm Georgie, and for some reason, it got to be Georgie Santorelli. They're using my last name.
Right.
It's totally bizarre. Like nobody else in the show. And I was mad at first. I was kind of like, no, it's just Georgie. And then I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, I'm an idiot. Of course they use my last name. Absolutely. You know? And so anyway, when you look it up, it says Georgie Santorelli, which is totally and completely bizarre because the character is just Georgie.
Right.
And
right.
There's just I'm not attached to anything. I show up and then I'm gone for 15 episodes. And then I show up and I'm in 2 in a row. And I get beat up with a chain and Joe Pantoliano hits me in the face with a big chain with a lock at the end of it. I'm in like 12 scenes in that episode.
So tell us about working with Joey Pants.
Oh, it was great. Wow, he was amazing. And I'll tell you why. He didn't tell me anything. He didn't even come up to me. And so when he opens that door, I don't know if you know that scene.
Yeah.
And he goes, I've come to reclaim Rome for my people. He goes like that. And I go, I don't know what you're talking about. He goes, gladiator, you idiot. And he takes a pretzel, like a pretzel rod, and breaks it on my chest. He doesn't tell me he's going to do that. He just does it. So it was great,
right? Because
it's a real reaction from me. Then he grabs my face and he screams into my face. He grabs me like that. You know, he was doing all kinds of stuff like that wasn't in the script that nobody told me he was going to do. And he really is one of them. What at the time, he hasn't done a lot of stuff in recent years, but he was one of the most respected guys around. And he won an Emmy
on The Sopranos.
He was helping direct some of those episodes. He really was. He had a vision. He was amazing. Yeah. Joe Pantoliano, in Italian, Little Pants.
I didn't know that.
Isn't that funny? That's his nickname. It is funny.
Well, Fiore told me the reason Gigi got written off was because Pants was coming on.
That may have been true.
Yeah, he said they had to make room for Joey Pants.
Yeah. No, I think so. Yeah, that could be true because, HBO was physically ill over the fact that they had to pay so many people. I mean, Lorraine Bracco, Michael Imperioli, Paulie Walnuts, the list, there's like 9 people. And I always wondered, why wasn't Georgie's character bigger? And my friend said, no. They didn't want to make you a star too, because then they'd have to pay you too.
Right. That's
So
unfortunately.
my part never got any bigger. And it was just weird how they would just call me and then I wouldn't hear from them for months and months would go by. And so, yeah, it was a great experience. It was like a dream hanging out with those people. I was hanging out with Bruce Springsteen, and it was just awesome how many people would show up to the set. Just so Tony Siragusa, remember that guy, the Goose, the big
Oh,
football
I
player?
know. Yeah, I met Tony. Yeah.
Sure. He was there, and Brian Williams, the newscaster, would be just people just be hanging out there watching the shoot.
Well,
And
it's groupies. So
coupled with the fact that there was half naked women running around.
Well, there's that too. The Bada Bing, was that a real place?
It was. It was called the Satin Dolls, and it was in Lodi, New Jersey, literally 15 minutes from Manhattan. You cross over the GW, and Lodi, Route 16 went like this. You made 15 minutes from Manhattan. They would pick us up in a van, a bunch of us, at the very beginning. Then once people got their money, they got their own way to. Anyway, they'd pick us up in a van in the middle of Manhattan and drive us over there. And it was a real strip club. And that guy who owns the place, probably, I don't know who he is or if he even still alive, but he must have thought he died and went to heaven because he owned a seedy strip club in Lodi, New Jersey that had 6 people in it, and it became world famous. And a huge poster, a huge sign on the front, home of Tony Soprano's Bada Bing. Oh, yeah. And as we were shooting and stuff, cars would go by at 5 miles an hour. There'd be a traffic jam in front of that place every day that we shot, just to get a glimpse of Gandolfini coming out of the building or something. Yeah.
What was it like to work with Jimmy?
He was amazing. He really was a gentleman. He was, I worked very closely with him many times. I mean, I'm in 13 episodes and 9 of them I'm with him, and so he was, I want to say he wasn't stressed, but he had a lot to do. And he always had his script with him. So there wasn't like I could walk up to him and tell him a joke. Oh, no. No. Yeah, he was sequestered. He was literally sequestered. And that's a show business thing. Like, if you really want to talk to James Gandolfini, you got to go to the AD first and say, could I talk to Jim? And then they would go to Jim and he would say yes or no. And it wasn't like he was trying to be a big shot. He was with his script. He's in every scene. The whole show was about him. Ridiculous how much he had to do. And so, yeah, I worked with him, and the pressure was on me because he could mess up.
You couldn't.
He had 20, 30 lines with me. Georgie, listen, if somebody got and I had 2 lines. And if I messed up, that was bad because I only had 2 lines,
Right.
And so a couple times he came over to me and he said, "You're doing a good job. You're doing a good job. Really, they like you. They like you." And I was only supposed to be in 1 episode.
Right.
I was only supposed to be 1 day and gone.
Yeah, John said he was a reluctant star. I mean, John stayed at his place in Manhattan. I mean, he was a very generous guy.
Oh, he gave money to the firefighters and the cops. He gave money to all of us. When he made his millions, when he got $1 million an episode, he gave everybody money. Everybody. It was awesome. Even the crew. Got these huge leather jackets embossed with Sopranos on the back, this thick. He gave those, they were $3,000 a piece or something like that. Specially made watches. We had these Kobold watches, which is a deep sea diving watch. He met the guy who was the president of the company, gave everybody watches, and he really was very generous. And he was great. I think he was our Marlon Brando.